Hello and welcome back, YouTube. It is Saturday, August 19th, 2023, 4:32 p.m. Allegedly, I'm suspended from Wonolo right now on like a 3-day suspension because I canceled my job 20 minutes after when I was supposed to show up yesterday, 25 minutes, something like that. But an hour ago, I just got a thing for it offering me to do 7 p.m. tonight. Yeah, I was really frustrated that it resulted in me losing 2 days of income at HelloFresh. But honestly, I need a break. I'm really worn out, and I'm just trying to catch up on some other stuff. Not the least of which is uploading my vlog. But yeah, an hour ago it offered me 7 p.m. to work at HelloFresh. Now I don't know if I opened that, if it would tell me, oh, you can't take it because you're suspended. Come waste an hour on this stupid thing we've offered you to do. I don't know what it's going to do, but honestly, I'm trying to work on my vlog. By the way, it's finally like not brutally hot outside. It's only 87 degrees today, but very windy, very overcast, possibility of rain, and so yeah, I'm driving. I got some errands I got to run today anyway. I actually need to get Rob some money. Unfortunately, I can go to the bank to that. I do have debit cards again for both of my banks. In fact, I've been kind of yesterday, that was actually one of the few notable things I managed to accomplish is, and I already mentioned, I did call Costco credit card services, and they're issuing me another card. Still haven't made the necessary adjustments to my Waymo app to make sure I've got a valid payment source on it, because right now it's pulling out my old Costco card, which is no longer valid. I also called Discover. Got the entire procedure done just talking to a robot. And a lot of times I complain about the whole talking to a robot thing, but not gonna lie, it's actually pretty satisfying when I can have a functional conversation with a robot and get something done in a reasonable amount of time. And props to Discover for having a system that for once worked for me. Like many of the systems, it started out by asking the last 4 digits of my card number, which of course I don't know by heart. The card has been missing for quite some time, so I can't look at the card. In fact, come to think of it, the issue with my Discover card, prior to me misplacing the damn card, which I'm sure it's in the mess in my apartment. I'm not stressed about anybody making fraudulent charges in it. In fact, I opened my last paper statement, which was pretty recent, and there's only $10 available credit on that card. It was kind of disturbing to see how much is going out in payments and how little of that is actually going to the principal and how much of that is going to interest. And it's not like I don't know how credit cards work, but I haven't been paying attention to everything I'm getting from that card, and my interest rate has gone up dramatically, which shouldn't surprise me. I mean, I keep hearing about, interest rates going up, interest rates going up. It's not like they were contractually obligated to give me the interest rate that I had before forever. So it is what it is. It's not like I'm the only American with excessive credit card debt. In fact, from what I've been reading, or not so much I've been reading a little bit in news sites, but mostly hearing it. Oh, look at that. 6 Lime scooters staged up right there. So they're definitely staging them there in front of the Taco Bell. I still think that's a weird spot for them to stage it. I think there's a lot of bus stops that they could better with them at than that one, but good to know they're staging them up. I'd be utilizing Lime a little bit more to get to work next week. I didn't really use it last week. Oh, by the way, my last Lime 3-day pass, when it was over and done, an hour of riding time to use in 3 days, and I think I had damn near 30 minutes of unused time on it, which would make it seem like it was a waste of money because I only used half of the time available, but it saved me something like $22. The subscription was $11, and I think it saved me like $22 over what those rides would have cost me had I paid full price, because they were such short rides and I took so many of them. So still a good deal, even if I don't manage to use the whole hour. Wow, there is a line. There's a car at the drive-up ATM and a vehicle behind waiting for it. Yeah. It's amazing how much people have an aversion to actually stepping out of their cars. Yeah, I'm just going to use the walk-up ATM, and I'll be right back. Oh, look at that. One of my turn signal lights is burned out. Unfortunately, I'm on my way to Rob's, so try to remember to ask him about swapping out the bulb on the left side. I know he doesn't mind doing shit like that quickly for me. All right, well, that was quick and easy. Check the time real quick. The car says hi. This is 4:39 on the Saturn clock. Although I feel a lot better checking my iPhone for the time. 4:40 on my iPhone. As I was saying, I've just, since I haven't been working HelloFresh this weekend, I've been putting quite a bit of effort into trying to catch up on editing and uploading my vlog. And I feel like as a result of that, even though it's August 19th, in a weird way in my head, it's still July 16th, which usually that's a gap, at least, just for the years I've been doing this vlog, usually that's a gap of like 1, 2, maybe 3 days. So to have that gap exceeding a month is kind of doing weird things to my mind as far as just my perspective of time. Not like I'm going to quit doing the vlog or just jump ahead or anything, because I've got some pretty interesting footage I haven't uploaded yet, and I'm thinking about like where I am on the 16th and how much happens between 16th and now, and yeah, by the time this gets put up, God knows how late I might be, because it's becoming very apparent that it's just a lot to put together, and even with the last couple days and me having more time to put into it, it's taken me way more than a day to put together and post a day. I'm not even coming up on the days that I know are going to require a lot of editing, because those happen later in July. So, and of course, by the time this gets posted, that'll be old news. And oh gosh, shall I guess when this will get posted? Early October, late September. I don't know. I'm hoping at some point I start to kind of make some kind of equilibrium with this, but it's still a project that is kind of giving me, wow, there is quite the remodel going on with that house on the right there. Wow. The gentrification going on in this neighborhood always blows my mind, and the way they're going about it with the loophole of keeping just enough of the original structure in place to make it a remodel versus a new build, but then adding so much that it's functionally a new build. To have only been able to get in on buying one of those houses back when they were affordable. Of course, at the time when they were affordable, have I ever been in that income bracket? I don't know. I don't feel like I ever really have been. I mean, most of the time that those were affordable, I was living almost completely off government assistance between Social Security and home need. So yeah, wouldn't have happened then, and it wouldn't have made sense for me to make it happen then. In fact, looking back at that time period, I think the biggest dysfunction, which I think is one of the biggest dysfunctions of social safety net type programs and assistant programs, such as housing assistance and financial assistance, Social Security, what have you, because they have such requirements that you can't exceed a certain income and still remain on them, and that you can't have so much property or so much money and still be on them, that they functionally encourage people to not seek to better themselves for fear of falling off a cliff and becoming homeless. And by cliff, I mean metaphorical cliff. I can understand why a single parent with a bunch of kids would not want to work enough hours that they lose their food stamps or housing assistance. Because, oh my God, then where do they go with their kids? I get that. But I look back and it's like, could I have done more with my life when I was in, between the age, and I want to say, like, my divorce was when I was 33, and by that time I was 34. Like, that's when I was homeless and pretty much just got on all sorts of different forms of assistance. which I was my main way of supporting myself and my younger daughter. Blonde's got a great body, the one on the bicycle. That was my primary way of supporting myself from pretty much age 33 to shortly before I turned 50. So could I have done more, with my 30s and 40s? Yeah, I think I could have. But I found myself in a situation where it was potentially completely self-destructive for me to try to do so. And I can't change the past. There's not any point in dwelling too hard about it. And of course now I'm at an age where, can I do those things? No, my youth is gone. I mean, I'm not like exactly old, but I recently had a membership to AARP, so I'm not exactly young either. Chianti thinks I'm completely over the hill, that all my best years are gone. Yeah, I kind of had to disagree with him on that. And he's like, oh yeah, but the youth are the ones that they're in the prime. Like, your prime, that's over by the time you're like in your early 30s. And I'm just like, dude, looking back on my whole life, in many ways, I'd have to say I hit my prime in my early 40s to mid 40s. And in spite of the fact I was not really doing much in my life by most people's perspectives, I was successfully, primary parent of Lily and raising my daughter. And granted, I was doing it with assistance, but I was living comfortably, at least at a level that I found comfortable. And I was largely happy, and had a girlfriend that at that time, regardless of what our relationship has digressed into now, at that time I was ecstatic. Oh my God, like there was a certain sizable portion of my life that just felt like living in the porno of my dreams, and was very happy with that. Karaoke constantly, and I was loving it. Like I felt like on a very odd level, a straight up rock star, and in my own little realm, I pretty much was. And I don't think as a DJ I ever had any more success than that. Now, was that success monetary? No, it really wasn't. But in terms of creativity, what I was doing, what I was presenting, and how much attention and influence it had, yeah, I feel like I peaked as far as like what I was doing with it and everything, and how much I was enjoying it. Then again, Chianti, born in '99, so do the math. How old is he? Yeah, that many years. And I remember when I was that age, and I remember at that age I had women that were in their early 30s coming on to me all the time, and I wasn't remotely interested because I didn't want anything to do with sex with an old lady. So, perspective changes as you mature and your age changes. So yeah, like at this point, I would love a weekend fling with a woman in her early 30s. God, to be with somebody so young again, that would be like the best thing to happen to me in a while. I'm here at Domino's. I know this is going to be awkward, but my last check is here. I do have my shirt. I do have my hat. I do want to kind of apologize for leaving Samantha hanging, because I really have no hard feelings against Samantha. It was 100% Jesus that pushed me over the edge here. But it's probably for the best that I left this Domino's, because it was just really too much. I was burning myself out physically and mentally, and also destroying my car. And if this car completely fails, it's going to put me in a really bad situation. There goes one of the female drivers that I kind of like, but the one that was always giving me warnings about like my driver score and all that. It's like, oh, you won't be able to have this job. I'm like, is that such a big deal, really? Anyway, looks like a sizable portion of this crew is here. I gotta go deal with this awkward situation and get it done. Well, that was awkward, but relatively painless. I am really disappointed I didn't see that older, attractive Latina that I kind of felt like I was sort of connecting with. She does not appear to be working today. Samantha was in there, and I did talk to Samantha. I showed her that I found the hat, and she smiled. at least I got a smile out of her. Told me that not to worry about it, that I didn't have to return those, which surprised me. Every place I've ever worked like that, where I've had did I just cut this lady off on her scooter? No, I don't think I did. And she's out of the view of my camera. I'm not sure what she's doing. she stopped abruptly right there, and I thought maybe I had blocked the sidewalk. I try not to be the guy that does that, but apparently she's stopping and playing with her cell phone. Okay. She's really cute. I would love to meet a woman like that actually gets around by scooter. I think that would be a very interesting thing for me. Potentially an interesting way to kind of connect with somebody. Because I love electric scooters, even though I don't have a functioning one right now. So anyways, I was saying, really not much conversation at all. I think his name is Austin. It was like one of the shift managers. He was like, "Hey, Daniel." I'm like, "Yeah." I said, "So you need your check?" I said, "Yep." And he went right to the back and got it, so no issue there. Yeah, Samantha really didn't say anything other than I didn't need to return my uniform. I'm like, damn. I said, I actually went through the effort of finding a hat. I said, the other hat I left on the desk for you, and she kind of nodded. So I don't know if that means she got it or not. But she just went right back to making pizzas. She was in a new shirt, by the way. So I don't know if they changed the general manager's uniform or whatever, but she was in like a bright blue shirt that looked really good on her. I can't emphasize enough. Samantha's gorgeous. She's also younger than my daughter. The guy I was working with the last night I was there that was on his way out when... and he's the one who handed me my last pizzas to deliver, which I ended up not delivering. That guy was always 100% super cool to me. And to be fair, until the last night, Jesus was always super cool and supportive of me. So I don't know just what the fuck snapped in his head that last day, but I was in no shape mentally to deal with it. And I don't think maybe he completely understood that my air conditioning was not functioning in my car and that I was having issues with my car. And regardless of the time of his delivery times, I needed to take little breaks just to cool off and hydrate myself, or it was going to become a health issue for me. I don't think that was clicking in his head. And he never even gave me a moment to address the fact that of the 2 pizza orders that were given to me, only one of them were appearing on my phone in my app. Like, he just immediately just started freaking out and yelling at me and snapping at me for just snap at me. I'm not even sure what he was saying. At that point, I wasn't really hearing the words. I was just hearing a little kid doing an approximation of the sound of a yapping chihuahua. That's what I was hearing in my head. That closes that chapter of my life. The guy that I was working with that night, who I said was always super, super cool to me. In fact, I felt bad. I kind of put him in an awkward situation. He seemed to be sympathizing with how I was feeling, but obviously his loyalty was to the job. I know he appreciates that job. And he took the 2 pizzas that I brought back and decided to, go ahead and stay closed and I'll do Jesus style. And I'm glad he did, I'm not trying to sink the business over one asshole, but I'm not trying to be... That job was just too much on my plate. I mean, shit, this weekend, HelloFresh through Wonolo is being too much on my plate. So, it's feeling good taking a couple days off, even though yesterday didn't really feel, wow, the rutted pavement is really messing with the car right here. Even though it really didn't feel like a day off yesterday. Hour plus drive out to HelloFresh and back. All the dealing with the Wonolo app I had to do. And now I'm in a point where it's like I know I'm not done with Wonolo. I know that. I just need a breather. But I know I can't take too much of a breather and just rely on my job at MLS because that does not pay enough to cover my bills, to say nothing of my substantial credit card debt, which I need to be making substantially larger payments than the minimum payments if I'm, ever going to not be a slave to the interest on that debt. So I do see jobs coming across. I still am getting loads of emails. I think the bulk majority coming from Indeed.com and ZipRecruiter. But I know I had put out some feelers with different recruiters, and all of them, it's a steady flow of better job opportunities. I don't want to say offers. I don't think I've had any actual job offers. And I'm not really ready to jump back into that yet, again, just because of how insanely frustrating it was before. Just how much I felt like I was spinning my wheels, responding to stuff, and going to interviews, and being given offers, like told I was hired. That to me was the most frustrating thing, is how many times I was told I was hired to never be given a start date and just suddenly be left in limbo. And then several weeks later have a recruiter just tell me, well, I don't know, they're not responding to me. Okay, well, you told me I was hired. Well, they told me you were hired. Like, I get it. They're a middleman. And as for the person who commented on one of my vlogs where I was kind of going off about this, telling me, well, why aren't you applying directly? You're messing up because you're applying to the middleman. Why aren't you applying directly? Yeah, ma'am, you're old. To put it very bluntly, you're old. You've already told me you're in your 60s. So you're living in the past if you think that's how one gets a job now. The majority of the kind of jobs that I would want, there is no path for applying directly. They don't take direct applicants anymore. You don't just go into a place with a resume or ask for a job application and fill it out. That's not really done anymore, except for, really crappy low-level jobs like, working for grocery stores. No offense to my best friend who works at a grocery store. Working at grocery stores or working at fast food places. And even Domino's, mind you. Speaking of working at fast food places, so I'm kind of wrapping up my job, getting my last check from Domino's. Even Domino's, when I went to Domino's.com thinking that I could sidestep all of that bullshit and just get a quick job delivering pizzas, even that wasn't direct. Domino's.com listed locations that they were looking for people at, and then when you click to apply at that location, it sent me to a link to a recruiting website. So even though, as a response to that, I did quickly hear back from, I forget his name, but the regional manager, the guy that drives the little Chevy electric car, I forget his name. Not Gershom, but the other guy. Granted, he did contact me back personally the next day, but there was still a step where I was sent out to a recruiting website to fill out the application. Nobody really hires direct anymore. It's not really a thing. I shouldn't say nobody, but most desirable jobs, they just don't do it that way anymore. So those who think that that's the way it's done, like, I just got to ask, when's the last time you were job hunting? If you're in your 60s, I'm imagining it wasn't very recently. Hope you're enjoying your retirement. So, almost to Rob's. Got some cash here for him. I haven't even opened the envelope to see how much my last check is. I'm pretty much okay without it. Not that I was expecting not to get it, but I'm kind of okay without it. But 5:02 p.m. right now, by the way. Yeah, I was pretty much in and out of Domino's. So I'm not sure where I'm going, but I do feel, a month ago I felt like I was underwater, like my head was underwater financially, and I mean, technically, I'm in massive debt, so I am still kind of underwater financially, but I still felt like a month ago I was still panicked on, oh shit, how am I going to pay my rent for August? I'm not worried about paying September rent. That's covered. I got that covered. There's no way to go but up here. I'm just kind of questioning how I go up from here. What do I focus my effort on? I'm not 100% sure. But I definitely do want to take care of the people that I've said I would take care of, and the people who have taken care of me, and certainly high on that list is Rob. So I'm going to go get him a decent amount of cash.